Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Saturday, April 3rd. We're going to be going over today's news headlines. Also, we'll have LSU recap today, Tulane recap, and also Southeastern recap and UNO recap from last night's baseball games. So, once again, we are live. Also, happy early Easter to everyone across the world. That's on watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We will be we are on live. Also, we'll be back later on this evening for NCAA basketball coverage. We will have here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll call the game. UCLA will take on Gonzaga. We'll have that game for you later on. So let's go ahead and send out our links to you. They will be the links will be set up into the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages. So I'm going to send the link out to you. So let me go ahead and put that in. So that one's in, and I'll send out the link for Facebook. We are live today, so we are doing sports talk here at 11 o'clock. So we have everything's posted. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter has the link. That's from StreamYard. If you want to come in video chat, that would be highly appreciative. So let's go ahead and recap what happened last night with LSU. Unfortunately, LSU's lost a game against Vanderbilt last night, 11-2. To be honest with you, it's this team right now. This team is in an absolute funk right now. When it comes down to it, in this game, I mean, they did lose on Thursday night. Also, they lost last night, 13-2. So they will play the last game of the series between Vanderbilt. It'll be 2 p.m. today. So we're going to recap the game. So let's give you let's go ahead and give you some highlights from last night's game. So I'm going to give you some highlights from LSU's game last night. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to send that to YouTube. And see if I can grab it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and play the highlights. LSU Vanderbilt last night, losing 11-2 to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's got a really good offense. Number one offense in the SEC. So 318 team batting average.
So that was a nice little pitch right there by Jaden Hill. So Jaden Hill starts off the top of the first with a strike.
In the top of the order. And he's base
hit right there by Vanderbilt to get
so a leadoff hit for Enrique Bradfield, and that will bring Carter Young, the shortstop, swings at the first and sends
it. Base hit. So they just hit a nice little hit right there.
This one towards the gap. Diving grab!
So that was a diving grab right there. Excellent grab by the LSU defense. So they just started off. So Dylan Cruz absolutely just had a great glove right there.
Just a true freshman. Watch this. Gets an outstanding jump and lays out in the right center field. Runner gone, shot his second, almost.
That was a bad throw right there. That was an absolute bad throw right there by Malazzo.
A strikeout at Keegan, but Bradfield picks up his 19th bag of the year.
So that was a walk right there. So that's how LSU pitching was absolutely struggling in the game last night. So it was definitely
Nolan from Jaden Hill. Nice block by Malazzo behind the plate.
So that was
to in scoring position to pay off. Change up, wave down. Hill avoids trouble.
Hey everyone, Wheels here. I want to remind you all to hit that subscribe button because over 80% of you watching right now are not subbed to the channel. It's completely free and helps me out a lot.
Keegan, talk about an excuse me hit for Will Safford. Safford running, pitches low. It's ball 4. That's irrelevant at second. And LSU's got 2 aboard in the first inning against Jack Leiter on an error and a walk. That one handcuffed Rodriguez. Both runners.
So both runners goes to second and third. That was in the bottom of the first.
Will advance.
See, so we know he's dominated non-conference well. He answered that pretty quickly.
So that was
16
a walk
punch
right there.
outs
So
and a no-hitter.
1-2.
Vanderbilt pitching.
No, right back there. Big strikeout, second of the inning.
That is big-time stuff right there.
The 2-2 with the bases juice. Strike 3
So
call.
nice little strikeout by Leiter.
3
So to end
strikeouts,
the
but a
inning.
pair of walks and an error. And he IDs that one and pops it up into shallow center. Shortstop Thompson calls for it. 2 to Jones. Golfs it into center field. Late jump, Safford, and it's going to drop in front of him. Safford new to the starting lineup this season, 4th most in the league. Rolling right side. Bungled by Morgan, and he can't win the race to the bag. That doesn't happen very often. Morgan's got a sterling defensive reputation.
That was a low pitch right there.
The now comes from a baseball family. His dad.
I mean, that LSU pitching was
Fulton
absolutely just
coming out.
irrelevant in that game
You see something with
versus
Jaden Hill.
Vanderbilt. So
And one of the
when
top
Howard comes
prospects
out,
in the
takes
country has to
Hill out.
leave early.
I
Jake
think that
Hill,
was a
after
good
his 34
decision.
pitches, is out of the game.
Comes down to it.
Runners go and no throw. 2 more stolen bases for Vandy. Into right center, coming on strong and making a diving attempt with Safford and got by him. 1 run is home. Here comes the second, and it's a 2-run shot for Enrique Bradfield.
Well, Vanderbilt doing what LSU couldn't do in the bottom of the first inning. LSU had bases loaded and 1 out, could not score a run. But the true freshman, Enrique Bradfield Jr., barrels this ball up. An outstanding effort by Safford. He can't come up with it. Lays out right there. And remember, Safford's a mid-infielder trying to learn to play the outfield.
High, deep to left field, pushing Dugas back. It is gone.
That was a home run right there. That was in the top of the second. So it was a 3-1 bomb. So Vanderbilt goes up on that 3-1 homer.
A 3-1 shot for Carter Young. The bat has arrived.
Wow, you talk about turning one around. Predictable count, right? 3-2 count. Brady throws a fastball. It is not located very good at all. Middle of the plate, just about thigh high. And Carter Young knows exactly what to
Vanderbilt
do.
goes up 5-0.
Sixth home run.
We're gonna rewind this. I'm gonna go to. We're gonna fast forward this and go to another inning. So we'll give you another inning. So this
His
is the third
second hit of
inning.
the game.
Vanderbilt gets back on.
Swing
Strike
and a miss.
out Money.
Double play helps out. It's in freshman Morgan at the plate.
So
And
Morgan
he's been
strikes out.
overmatched in this one, 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks.
Bottom of the third. And then
Second time
LSU
Leiter's
walks,
gone to a full count, and that's his
runners on.
3rd walk for him.
We felt like taking a chance on him that he
And
would
the
pick up some
strikeout right
velocity.
there
Boy, has he
by
ever in a big way.
Vanderbilt pitching.
And there's already 8 strikeouts here in the 3rd for Leiter. The only
And when Dad asks a question like that,
And that pitch right there,
I'm telling you right now,
strikeout.
it's bad though.
the end-
Leiter's
ending.
got the Tigers by the tail right now because he's
Let's
got
go
that.
over to let's fast forward.
a
this,
miss. Leiter's at it
over to,
again. He has struck out 11, only 1 out.
Do that.
This one muscled into shallow center. It's going to drop for a base hit. Bulger.
So this was
Bulger
this was a
drives
home run
one
right
deep
here,
to left field.
Left field.
At the wall, Safford runs out of space. It bounces off the bleacher. Second home run of the season for
So
Bulger.
Vanderbilt's hitting was absolutely perfect in that game. That was in the 5th inning. So they was hitting the ball against the LSU pitching. So LSU pitching right now, it's absolutely. I'll be honest with you, it's not up to par right now in these last couple of games. So let's go through some more highlights.
impressed with Vanderbilt. The ability to be on time with the fastball. We've seen it time and time again. This is a mistake pitch, but it's a fastball. But it's an approach when you go to the plate. If you're looking for a fastball and you get it in the quadrant you're looking for, get your swing off, and Bulger does it in a big way with that one.
To Missouri over 7. LSU line drive, base hit.
Nice little base hit.
And Collier Cranford is on the board, and that's the first
Collier
hit
Cranford gets on.
by Jack Line in quite some time. That's since March 13th in Stillwater.
So that
Here's
would be a
Keegan.
nice little pop up right there.
1 down on the road at Missouri, 0-2. And that's a clean hit into
So a
left
nice
field.
little
Couple
base
of
hit,
knocks
and
for
that
LSU.
goes
Gets
all the way
by
to the
Bulger in left. Cranford is going to end up at third.
So runners at second and third on that hit.
Little roll on
And
the
then the
right
roller
side.
goes,
Nolan has it. Run will come home.
Runs
Be the
come
first
home
out
on
of
that one, so it makes
25
it,
innings. Ladders allowed to run.
7-1.
Being as good as anyone.
And a pitch strikeout right there by
Ladder better
Lyles.
than him tonight. He struck him out twice. 12 strikeouts.
And that was a walk. So
Leadoff
White
walk.
Money absolutely had a bad pitch there.
Ripped to right.
That was,
It's inside the line fair. Bradfield motors to third. He is being waved home. Lost in the corner by Cruz. Headed to third is Carter Young.
So we'll rewind it. We're going to fast forward it to the late innings. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the late innings.
Looked like it hit his glove. And he didn't know it was in his glove when he opened it up. The ball fell out. He couldn't find it. And Gonzalez goes all the way around to third base. 2 more runs come in.
I take it back. It would have been a trap. He just knocked it down. You can see on the replay. Short hops his glove after he lost his footing.
That was a bad. That was bad defensive play right there. It was a short hop right there. He should have caught that ball. Now we'll go over to the last innings of So let's go over to the
Just kind of getting by from what we thought they would be, and then all of a sudden they really get it clicking. I think it's in the tank for Florida as well.
$9 million later.
So nice little base. That would end the game right there. So final score. LSU loses 11-2. I'll be honest with you. 2 runs is not going to get it against Vanderbilt. I'll be honest with you. Look, Vanderbilt's offense is absolutely on another level than LSU. I mean, look, they got perfect pitching. They also got perfect hitting as well. So let's give you the box score on last night's game. So I'm going to give you the box score. So let me pull the box score up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the box score. And we'll have Paul Maneri's comments about last night's game. So we're going to go ahead and give you their box score. So I'm going to put the box score up. And I'll give you that box score in just a second. Let me give you the box score. The line score was 11 runs, 13 hits, 4 errors. LSU, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. In their game last night. LSU, Vanderbilt did score in the top of the second. They also scored the top of the 5th. They also scored the top of the 6th. And also they scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th. LSU only scored in the bottom of the 5th, bottom of the 6th in the game last night against. So let's give you the box score. Okay, box score for LSU. Trey Morgan went 1 for 4. Hayden Trubisky went 0 for 1. Will Safford went 0 for 4. Dylan Cruz 0 for 2. Not a good night for the Tigers. Brody Drost went 0 for 1. Gavin Dugas went 0 for 3. K. Doty went 1 for 4. K. Beloso went 0 for 4. Jordan Thompson went 0 for 3. Kyler Cranford went 1 for 3. Drew Bianco went 0 for 1. He struck out. Alex Malazzo went 0 for 3. He struck out twice. Mitchell Sanford went 1 for 1. So that was in the ball game last night. So that was in the game. So let's give you the pitching on LSU. LSU last night, Jaden Hill had his start. He had given up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 was earned. He struck out 2 and walked 2. Alex Brady, same thing, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 of them was earned. Blake Money was absolutely giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, struck out 4. Will Helmus came in. He did gave up put my mic over here. Gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 of them was earned, and 1 walk. Also, Trent Wehmeyer was in, and Brandon Camberter for the LSU Tigers. LSU walked 4 and struck out 6. They gave up, so that was in the game. So I'll be honest with you, that this LSU pitching staff last night was absolutely just very abysmal when it comes down to their game. So once again, LSU loses 11-2. They will take on Vanderbilt today, 2:00. So that's the box score from last night. LSU and Vanderbilt. So that final score was 11-2. So we'll hear from Paul Maneri. So I'm going to go ahead and put Paul Maneri on. So we'll let you hear from Paul Maneri on last night's game. So I'm going to go ahead and put Paul Maneri in. I'm going to switch it over. We'll have Paul Maneri in just a second. And I'll just go ahead and set this up. So let me go ahead and screen this out.
Take questions. Anybody have any questions?
Paul, do you have an update on what happened to Jaden in the second inning and what that injury might be?
Something to his elbow. And when I got to the mound, he just said he felt something in his elbow, and he wanted to try and throw a ball. And when he released it, he felt a little bit of pain again. So we didn't want to chance it from there. We're gonna get it examined on Monday. The orthopedic doctor actually came out to the field tonight and looked at it, and they're gonna, do some more exploratory tests on Monday, and then we'll know more this week at the beginning of the week. Obviously, we're going to keep our optimism up and hope for the best. It was just on that one last pitch, he threw a changeup and just felt something in his elbow, and it's just heartbreaking to see something like that. It's hard to put into words what you feel. That was the worst thing of the evening, just heartbreaking.
Paul, is there really, you can't even look ahead at this point. It probably just so stunned that happened that the rest of the night just kind of went by as a blur, I guess.
Ron, I was really numb after that. I know we still had a ball game to play, but it wasn't just any kid. It's a kid with a lot at stake this year, obviously, and happens, in the second inning. He pitched in the first inning. He pitched out of a jam, made some big pitches. You feel him pretty good. Obviously, we had the kid.
Yeah, like I said, Jaden Hill, Jaden Hill will be out. I think the LSU pitching will be okay. We got Blake Money, we got Will Helmers. So if he is out, that's an unfortunate incident that happened last night with Jaden Hill. That was an unfortunate incident. But like I said, we gotta move on. Next man up. We just can't just sit there and just dwell over these injuries. That's gonna happen. So once again, Paul Maneri. So let's hear what he had to say.
their kid on the ropes in the first inning, bases loaded, 1 out, and forced him to throw 30 pitches. He rose up, made some big pitches, got out of the jam, but we're feeling pretty good about Jaden, the way he threw in the first inning. And we go out there in the second inning, and we made one defensive mistake there and put him in a little bit of a jam. And then all of a sudden I could tell when he threw that second pitch to that batter, he kind of stretched his forearm. And I thought, oh no. He didn't call us out or anything. I could just tell, I've been around long enough. I can tell when a pitcher does something like that. So I immediately went to the home plate umpire and said, can I go check on him, without using an official visit? He said, do you think he's hurt? And I said, that's why I want to go ask him. I see some signs that he's got some discomfort out there. So the trainer, Corey Couture, and I went out to the mound. And I said, Jaden, are you okay? He said, I felt something in my elbow. So, we asked him, are you in pain? And he said, no, I'm not in any pain at all. I just felt something weird in my elbow. And we stood and talked to him for a little while, and there was no pain. Normally, if you tear something or something pops.
Look, here's the thing about that. When you have a pitcher that's throwing over 100 pitches, they're asking for injuries right there. So that's something right there. Look, we have to stop doing in this situation is when Jaden Hill reaches a certain pitch amount, they should have took him out. They should have absolutely took him out. Because if he goes maybe over 100, let's say, for instance, if he goes 100 pitches, and that's way too much, to be honest with you. That's way too much when it comes down to it. So, look, that's an unfortunate situation with Jaden Hill. I hope if he's tore something, I hope he's okay and stuff like that. I hope he recovers. But like I said, when you keep him in over 100 pitches, it's probably it's gonna dwell up for injuries. So so that's something we have to consider. Look, with Jaden Hill, sure, he wants to continue throwing on the mound and stuff like that, but when you go over 100 pitches, look, that's asking for to get injured. Because when they throw over 100 pitches, their arm starts to get really numb and stuff like that. So let's hear from Paul Maneri again. Paul Maneri talking about last night's game. LSU loses 11-2.
Immediately you start to have pain, but he didn't have any pain. So we said, do you want to throw a ball? Do you want to try and see? So he threw it, and he just said, just doesn't feel right. So we took him out of the game. But, when something like that happens, it's so heartbreaking. You go in this business to help kids, and you see something like that happen, it just rips your heart out. And it's just very hard to, you imagine a football coach, when some guy, is laying there and they're working on his neck or whatever. It's just very hard to keep your focus on the outcome of a game when you just feel so bad for a youngster. And that's how I felt the rest of the night. And obviously they took advantage of, we brought in a new pitcher, and before you know it, it's 5-0. I thought Blake Money came in and did a really, really nice.
And here's another thing. LSU has to start getting runs. Stop wasting at bats. That's my opinion on this game, because when LSU got their bats, they seem to strike out, fly out, and stuff like that in those innings. That right there is wasted at bats. So like I said, we have to take our at bats very seriously, because those innings you may not get another chance to get an at bat. So you may never get another chance. So those at bats are very critical when it comes down to it.
Job for us, and kept us in the game. But we just after we let Leiter off the hook there in the first inning, he kind of settled in, and he's fabulous. I mean, what can I say? The kid should be pitching in the major leagues right now instead of in Alec Box Stadium. We just, he's tremendous. Couldn't do much with him. Got a couple of hits, scored a run or two, I guess, but 5-run deficit against him is a big deficit to have to overcome.
Well, it's obviously early now. Y'all haven't gotten the examinations and everything, but if Jaden did.
But the thing is, with the 5-0 deficit, we the ones that absolutely didn't do anything in that game last night. I mean, look, those innings, look, he like I said, they fly out, strike out, and stuff like that. So, like I said, you have to your at bats are very important.
Did have to miss an extended period of time. Would Will Helmers probably be who has to go to the rotation, or is it just too early to really think about it?
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it, Wilson, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I just haven't really put any thought into it at this point. Actually, let me recant that a little bit. I did let Blake Money go a little bit longer than I normally would have, thinking that might even be a possibility. But, that beyond that, I hadn't thought about it much. Anybody else? Okay, thanks.
We'll have Blake Money and Cade Doty.
So we're going to switch this over to Blake Money, so we'll go over the Blake
To your
Money.
mind when Jaden had to walk off the field there?
Well, first went through my mind was obviously his health, just hoping and praying that he's okay and that, it's not something major or anything major and he's able to bounce back from it. And obviously, in a short period of time. It's not something you want to see, your teammate walking off the field with an athletic trainer, especially a situation like that. So we're just praying for him and we'll continue to pray for him and just hope that it's nothing major and he gets back out there, quick.
Like you said, though, obviously it's a kind of a scary situation, especially when it's involved with, a pitcher's arm. How does that kind of affect the psyche of a team when it's early in the game like that and all of a sudden you lose your starter?
It's tough to overcome for any team. That's the thing about baseball is it's unpredictable. You never know when something's going to happen. A lot of times in practice we talk about guys, maybe it's like a freak accident. Maybe they take a ball off the foot and they leave the game because, they're limping a little bit or, we try to prepare as much for those moments as possible. But like you said, obviously nobody thought that, in the second inning right there that our starter would be leaving the game. So obviously from a, player standpoint, a team standpoint, it's not something that you want to see. And, the big thing is trying to make sure that we stay positive and continue positive vibes throughout the dugout and just try and build on, each other and make the most of the situation.
Yeah, Blake, Coach Maneri talked about he kind of maybe left you out there a little bit longer to kind of take a look at you because obviously he might want to consider you moving into the starting rotation if Jaden is hurt. How would you feel about that at this point?
May you please repeat that again? I kind of couldn't hear you a little bit.
Yeah, I said Coach Maneri talked that he left you out there tonight a little bit longer to take a look at you to see, that you might be a guy to move into the starting rotation in case Jaden is gone for a while. How would you feel about that? Do you think you're ready for that?
I'm here for whatever the team needs. If the team needs me to be, a starter, if a team needs me to be mid-relief, team needs me to close, whatever it may be, I'm just here to fill the hole and do the best I can and give my team the opportunity to win,
Like we've seen you have some real success this year, some moments where you've struggled a little bit. Overall, it seemed like a pretty good outing for you tonight. What do you think was working when you were having success against those Vanderbilt hitters?
It was just really just believing in my guys, to be honest. Going out there, jogging around the field, you get picked up a little bit on your way out there. People telling you, do your thing, things like that. So it was good to go out there knowing that I had everybody on my team. I'm encouraging me, being behind me, and picking me up there. And then being on the mound, that just gives you a different edge. It's like when you're throwing, you're doing it for your guys. You're making sure you keep this boat race, like not boat race, but you make sure you keep the boat, from going off sail, making sure that you keep you guys in the game and giving them the best opportunity to come back, and make the best effort that we can to put a win up on the board.
Any more questions for Blake?
No, man.
Okay, let's just fast forward it. Okay, yeah. I said Blake Money, if he is ready to get take over, if Jaden Hill doesn't come back, look, I think the young man, he gave up 5 hits in the game yesterday, but the truth of the matter is, if he has to close, then so be it. I mean, to be honest with you, LSU's pitching right now. You got, like I said, you got Brandon Cameter, you got Blake Money, you got Will Helmers. You got some good talent. Look, you got the next man, like they old saying, next man up. Sure, he's gonna be injured. He might not come back for a while, but we have to, like I said, we have to move on. We have to because, like I said, the SEC schedule is not going to be easy for LSU. So once again, Paul Maneri, Blake Money, talking about last night's loss. LSU loses 11-2. They will continue their series today, 2 p.m. There will be in just about maybe 2 hours from now. So once again, let's wrap this up. LSU loses 11-2, so we will move along to Tulane baseball. So Tulane baseball sweeps Memphis yesterday. So we'll recap what happened in their game. So I'm going to go ahead and get Tulane baseball. Let's see. So they did win. They did win yesterday. 7-1 and 11-2. So 7-1 and 11-2 was your final scores. So we're going to recap both games. I'm going to recap both games, and we'll have Travis Ewis press conference. So we'll go ahead and have that for you. So let's see what's going on, Isaac. We're busy right now. What you got?
Happy April 3rd.
Happy April 3rd to you.
How did you like the Magic Pelicans recap we did?
Oh, I didn't see it, so I didn't get a chance to see it. So
hey, at least you retweeted it.
Yeah, I retweeted it. So
that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in a lot of busy news. Like I said, it's gonna be busier because you have to cover the MLB also now. So
yeah, I'm gonna be covering the MLB. There's gonna be a lot of stuff we're covering. Yep.
What are you doing your first game?
I'm probably gonna do the basketball game tonight, the Final Four, UCLA and Gonzaga. I'm probably gonna do that one.
Yeah, I mean, if UCLA upsets Gonzaga, I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be most likely will. So,
yeah, we'll figure out. I mean, look, like I told you, we'll see. I mean, we have to see what national TV games are on for the MLB, and then what if you're free that day, such as if there's any other sports, like if the Pelicans are on that day or the Saints.
yeah.
I mean, it's a 162 game season. You'll be able to fit something in.
Yeah, I'll probably have something.
Because it's 162 games, so there's tons of days, you could do.
Yeah.
So that's that.
So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and play Travis Jewelis' press conference from last night. So Tulane sweeps Memphis in their game, so they'll have their
because there's no Precious Achua.
Yeah.
If Precious Achua was playing, that's it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play Travis Jewelis, so we'll hear what Travis Jewelis had to say. So I'm gonna put that in.
All right, Coach. You want to start us off with a quick statement? We'll open it up to questions.
Oh, just real proud of the boys tonight, Gare. Ed, how you doing? Just
should be proud, right?
After a tough one last night.
7-1 and 11.
We needed that in the worst way. I was proud of the kids physically, for sure, how they showed up and played pretty good baseball throughout the day. But I just thought mentally, they were into the thing from the first pitch on. So just proud of them. Step forward for sure. Now we got to try to find a way to close this thing out and win this thing 3-1. So they're a good team. And we're going to have to come out tomorrow against a real veteran left-hander that likes to move the ball around and decelerate and all those types of things. But hopefully our kids go to bed tonight with some good feelings about themselves. And, I think I'd be remiss if you don't talk about doubleheader, which is our first one of the year and the first one that we got to get kind of trained for, coming off of a tough Thursday night loss, and then both of your starters on the front end of both those games of the doubleheader get you 7 innings. So that was big for our bullpen. Allowed us to, leave Keegan and Slagle and DeVito and all those guys kind of unused through today, which should, be beneficial for us going forward to tomorrow. So just got to get up tomorrow and get after it again. So.
Benoit wasn't originally supposed to start this weekend, and then he gave you his best.
Crazy,
his career. How helpful is that going to be?
Well, yeah, it was huge.
Oh, it was huge. I mean, let me tell you, Tulane got that win.
Yeah, both wins. They won 11-1 and 7.
Really kind of got the word
11-2 and 7-1.
And
oh wow, they only have 40 views.
He described last time as his best outing in a Tulane uniform. So I think he took a lot of those feelings.
Yeah, they got 40. That ain't too bad. 40 views. That's not too bad.
He moved them forward. So
stream on the move.
Whether he continues to stay.
So once again, Isaac Elliman. Let's see if we can get him back in. I don't know why.
We're surely going to need him going forward.
Once again, come back in a few seconds, Isaac. Try to reset your
what they gave us. So baseball requires, and I always say this to you. The guy that's standing on the
Travis, you were talking about yesterday's game. Tulane went 7-1 and 11-2.
Just did a tremendous job.
Just ridiculous.
I don't know why he keeps removing him.
I heard it in the radio.
So once again, we're having a little issues.
That's really what it is. I think there's some in the forearm area and just nothing
pushing back
medical at all. Just thinking, take one step back so he can take the rest of the weeks forward and not, try to push it. I think he probably, he fought with me a little bit in terms of wanting to go and saying that he probably could and all those things like that. But we've got a long season ahead of us, and it's an important half of our season. He's got a professional career ahead of him. I thought that as a staff, we need to make a mature decision here. And, his teammates did what good teammates do, and pick us up when we needed it the most. So obviously those are big innings that we lost in a weekend series, but I anticipate him being back next week.
So So Luis had a huge day, but he also demonstrated a new bunting technique with the behind the back.
It's a new.
Get out of the way of the pitch.
It's a sign we just.
You ever seen anything like that before?
I've seen ball hit bat be fair before, but maybe once or twice. But yeah, and that thing couldn't ask for a better bunt. That's a new bunt sign that we have. So. I was real proud of Luis. You hear me talk all the time about quick recovery athlete. He gets the ground ball that goes through the 5-hole there. The inning before, he couldn't hardly make it off the field. I almost chopped his head off. And we're done. We're done with that. And our expectations got to be higher than that. We are what we are because of some of those types of moments. And he jumped right in there, and these guys do all the time when I get after him is see my ball on the face, see my face on the ball and land it in the left field screen. So good for him to get back on it. But, he had a heck of a day offensively for sure.
And you dominated pretty much all 18 innings. I guess the one biggest turning point that there could have been was Jared's throw in the second inning of the first.
Yeah, it was huge.
He threw a missile.
Yeah.
That's the type plays that hadn't been made before.
Yeah, no doubt.
How big a boost was that?
It was huge because, it kept the game at 3-1, I think, at that time. It's his chance to be 3-2. I thought defensively, he was in a good position. The way the flags have been blowing, Gare, this weekend, it's, as you can see, we landed on a bunch of balls that didn't have a lot to show for, but that were struck really well. Maybe on a warmer night was the friendlier flag. I think we could have probably even had more extension, but knowing how the park was playing and positioning himself accordingly, where if the ball gets hit firm over his head, it's still going to have some layup to it where he could go back and catch it. So he was in maybe a little bit shallower than normal. And I think when the ball speed and the ability to get behind it and come through it, and in those situations, you just kind of let it rip and made a heck of a play at the plate. That was a big deal.
Coach, any thoughts about a sweep giving you some momentum, or is that?
Well, 100%, we have to use the good feelings of victory to give us confidence. There's no doubt about that. So, again, just real proud out of the kids. Last night was a tough one. I thought we favored them some things that gave them the advantage. And for us to come back today and kind of get a punch in the nose and get off the mat, so to speak, and show up like they did from the pitch one to the end. I was real proud of their efforts. So, yeah, I mean, we need to use those, and I think the kids are feeling good about themselves. And what we need to do now is we put ourselves in a position to win 3 out of 4. And I think if you did that every weekend for the course of the AAC play, you'd probably find yourself in the front end of this thing. So got an opportunity tomorrow, and we created ourselves one today, and now we just got to take advantage of it tomorrow.
Bennett Lee is hitting over 400 now for the year. I mean, it seems like we talk about him after almost every game because he's done something. Just how impressed are you with his approach at the plate?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, he gets in there. I think he's singular in his thoughts, pitch to pitch. I think he's got his plan, and we talk about all the time, get on time for what you're looking for. And I think he does a really good job with his at-bats. I like him with 2 strikes. He puts it all in play. He's using all parts of the field. And I thought that was a big double there late, when he wedge split the right center. He understood the outs and everything like that. He pushes into a double. So he's just giving us really mature at-bats for a very, very young kid. And I had a tough decision tonight, guys, because, I wanted to get Hayden in there, because we can't catch Bennett Lee every single inning for the rest of the year. And I've told you this before, and I'll tell you time and time again, Hayden's very capable back there. He does a lot of really good things for us. And so wanted to get him in there for sure. And then I have to, at that point, make decisions about how am I going to keep, gray hair Tanky in there and get Bennett in there. But I couldn't play both of them at this particular time until maybe we do some transitioning with Bennett, maybe to a potential different position or what it might be to try to get them all in there. But just the way he's going, as you made mention, I just thought that was the hot hand, and it turned out to be the right decision.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, once again, Travis Jewett talking about last night's game. Tulane wins 7-1 and 11-2. So we'll recap game one's box score. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll recap game one's box score. I'm going to get that up on the screen, and we'll recap game one's box score. Okay, game one's box score. Tulane wins 7-1. Line score, 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. Memphis, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Tulane scored in the bottom of the first. They had a walk by Neiman. Burns did score, made it 1-1. Memphis scored first. That was in the top of the first on the steal, so he stole home. So that's the first time that's a steal. So stole second, stole home. Avals doubled to left center. They scored, made it 3-1. And then in the bottom of the second, Burns single to the left side, made it 4-1. And then Lee single to right field. Burns scored, made it 5-1. That was in the bottom of the second. In the bottom of the eighth, Tulane scored on a double down the left field line. Lee did score. That was a Biles again. Bumgarden single to right field. Biles did score on that single, so made it 7-1. That's how the game ended, 7-1. Was your final. So the winning pitcher was Jack Ulrich. He's 2-1. So we'll give you Jack Ulrich's numbers in just a second. We'll go through the Tulane box score. Okay, box score for Tulane. Colin Burns went 2 for 4. Jacob Lapari made it 2 for 4. Lee Bennett went 2 for 3. Frankie Neiman went 0 for 3. He was left on base. He walked 1 time. Luis Avals did went 2 for 4 in the game. Simon Bumgarden went 1 for 4. Chase Engelhardt went 1 for 4. Jared Hart went 2 for 4. Ethan Groff went 0 for 3 in the game. Tulane left 5 men on base. They did strike out 7 times, walked 3 times out of that bat. So double was Avals and Hart. Base running was Burns. Caught stealing was Bumgarden. He had caught stealing and Jared Hart. So that was in the game yesterday. Let's give you the actual box on Jack Ulrich. 7 innings. He gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeout, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. David Bates had 2 strikeouts and no walks. So that was in 2.5 innings. Tulane pitching, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks. They only gave up 4 hits, 1 run. 1 of them was earned. So that's game 1 box score. Game 1 box score. Tulane wins 7-1. So we'll go over game 2's box score. Let's switch this out and we'll go to game 2's box score. Tulane wins 11-2. So switch over to game 2's box score. So game 2's box score is on the screen. 11-2, Tulane wins. The line score, Tulane 11 hits, 13 runs, 2 errors. Donovan Benoit was the winner. He's 1-1. So that was in the game yesterday. So let's give you the scoring summary. So we'll go ahead and give you the scoring summary. Okay, I'm going to go through all the play-by-play scoring summaries. Okay, Tulane in the bottom of the first, 2 runs, 2 hits. No errors, 2 men left on base. They scored in the inning, so it was 2-0 Tulane. That was in the bottom of the first. We'll go over to Tulane's bottom of the second. Tulane scored 1 run, 2 hits, left 1 man on base, so it was 3-1 Tulane on a so let's see, that was an unassisted, so it was 2-1, and then a home run down the left field line by Ethan Groff, so it was in the bottom of the second. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Tulane scored 2 runs again. Home run by Avails. That was in the bottom of the third. And then Burns reached on the fielder's choice. Groff did go to second, and then the score was unassisted. 2 runs, 2 hits. No errors, 2 men left on base. Now, Tulane in the bottom of the fourth scored a net of 2 runs that made it 7-2. So that was it was Hart on the fielder's choice. Englehart scored in that bottom of the fourth. Also, in the bottom of the fifth, Tulane scored the 3 runs. Burns doubled. Burns doubled. LaPrairie flied out. That was a sac fly, so it's in the game, so it made it 8-2. And then Lee scored, made it 9-2, so 3 runs in that inning. So it's in the bottom of the fifth. Also, Avails did fly out, and it was an unearned run, made it 10-2. Now let's go to the bottom of the sixth. Tulane did not score in that inning. They were groundouts, flyouts, and groundouts. That was groundouts and flyouts. Now in the bottom of the seventh, Tulane, same inning, pop out, fly out, and single. So only 1 single. Right, there was 10-2. They left 1 man on base after bottom of the seventh. Also in the bottom of the eighth, Tulane scored a run. In the bottom of the eighth, there was let's see, Avails is scoring a guarded single. So that was in the bottom of the eighth. And Tulane did not score. So Memphis did bat. They didn't. So the Memphis scored their runs. Let's see when they scored their runs. Memphis scored their runs in the top of the third. So Memphis scored in the top of the third. Top of the second. So top of the third, top of the second. So they didn't score in the other innings. So that was in yesterday's game. So Tulane wins 11-2 in their game. So let's give you the numbers, box score numbers. Okay, box score numbers are on the screen. Burns went 1 for 4. LaPrairie went 2 for 3. Lee Bennett went 3 for 5. Luis Avails went 3 for 5. Bumgarden went 1 for 3. Chase Englehart went 1 for 2. Jaden Hart went 0 for 4. Hayden Hastings went 0 for 4. Graff with 1 for 2 for 4. So Tulane did let's see how many they left on base. I'm looking at it. This different box score. That's the Tulane offense. So we'll give you the pitching breakdown. So we'll give you the box score breakdown. So I'm going to go over to the pitching box score. Okay, pitching box score. Tulane had 6 walks, 9 strikeouts in the game. They had 3 wild pitches. That was Benoit. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 of them was earned, walked 4, struck out 6. Robert Price came in with his 2 innings of work. He gave up 2 walks and 3 strikeouts in the game. So that once again, Tulane wins both games 7-1, 11-2. So 7-1, 11-2. So they will finish up the rubber match that will be today. So the rubber match will be around, I think, 1 o'clock for Tulane and Memphis. So hopefully Tulane wins that game. So they would go 3-1 in this 4-game sets. Since the NCAA put them in, so they have 4-game sets in conference weekends. So once again, Tulane wins. Tulane now 2-1 in the American Conference. I look at it this way: this Tulane baseball team still got a long way to go when it comes down to it. So let's move along. We'll recap the University of New Orleans and see what happened with UNO baseball. So we'll go over to UNO baseball. So UNO played this weekend, lost 6-4. So they did play Corpus Christi on Friday, won 7-6. So the split series between UNO, so UNO won 7-6 and lost 5-4 in their game yesterday. So we'll recap game 1's box score and game 2's box score. So we'll recap both of those box scores. So let's go over to game 1's box score. UNO and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So let's go to the play-by-play breakdown. So play-by-play breakdown, we'll go through the okay, top of the first. UNO did not score in the top of the first. UNO scored in the top of the second. They had 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, no men left on base. They did score on a Salah sack fly. Woolard did score, made it 1-1. So Luke the Woolard scored on that sack fly. Woolard did double, so he started off the inning with a double for the UNO Privateers. In the top of the third, UNO scored another run that was in on a ground out by Gage Howard. Willard scored that was an Willard scored that was an unearned run. So Willard scored, made it 2-1. So that was in the top of the third. And then the top of the fourth, UNO, it was still 3-2. Their inning was not absolutely good. They had strikeouts, walks, singles, and pop-outs. Now, let's see. UNO scored in the top of the 6 on a Salah Isaac double. Page Howard scored, tied it up at 3. And then UNO in the top of the 7th. Let's see. They did not score in the top of the 7th. Top of the 8th, UNO scored 4 runs in that inning. So there was a 4-run inning. Ferd doubled. Isaac scored, and Bratton scored. Also, so that was in the game. So they scored the first run. Somridge did score on a 2-run homer. Wool scored on that 2-run homer. And then Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the bottom of the 8th scored 3 runs on a 3-run homer that was in the bottom of the 8th. So that was in the bottom of the 8th. UNO loses 7-6 to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They're now 14-12 in the Southland Conference. So let's give you the box score on so the box score for the UNO Privateers. Furr went 2 for 4. Howard went that's Gage Howard went 2 for 4. Pace Howard 0 for 4. Luther Willett 1 for 3. Simridge Simnick went 1 for 4. Salah Isaac went 2 for 2. Travis Goover went 2 for 4. Bo Bratton 0 for 3. Dylan Willis 1 for 4. So they left 8 men on base. The Privateers struck out 10 times and walked 5. Doubles by Furr, Willett, Goover, home run by Simonage, and sack fly by Furr and Salah Isaac. Sack hit by that was a bunt, and a sack fly by Salah Isaac for the UNO Privateers. Now, pitching for UNO, Chris Toppin had 7 innings of work, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them was earned. He walked 1, struck out 8. Selesky had 1 hit, 3 runs. He had 1 walk, 1 strikeout. UNO struck out 9 batters and walked 2. They gave up 6 hits, 6 runs. 2 of them was earned for the UNO Privateers. So final score in game 1, UNO wins 7-6 in that game. So we'll recap game 2. So we'll go over to game 2. Okay, game 2, UNO loses 6-4. So they did split the series with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So let's recap what happened. So we'll go play-by-play coverage. We'll go play-by-play. Okay, let's begin. UNO top of the first. Not a good inning there. Pop out and flyouts in that inning. UNO scored their first 3 runs. It was in the top of the second. Willis scored on a single to right field. That was Simridge was single. Salah Isaac grounded out to the third baseman. Was a sack bunt. So it's a sack. So he got a sack bunt out of it. Willett advanced to third. And then the third run came on a fielder's error. So Murphy scored on that fielder's error. That was in the top of the second. Now, in the top of the third, UNO scored a 1 run that was in the top of the third. UNO scored on a single by Willett. Howard did score for the UNO Privateers. And top of the fourth, UNO did not score in that inning. Top of the fifth, same inning as well. They left 2 men on base. Top of the sixth, did not score there. So top of the sixth, top of the seventh. So the only scoring by the UNO Privateers was in the top of the second and top of the third. So top of the second and top of the third. So UNO loses 6-4. So your losing pitcher was Colin Cullivan. He was a losing pitcher. Colin Cullivan was the losing pitcher. So let's give you the box score for the Privateers. Christian Furr went 1 for 4. Gage Howard 0 for 3. Paige Howard 0 for 3. Lothar Willard 2 for 3. Casey Sonridge 1 for 3. Salah Isaac 1 for 2. Gover 0 for 3. Jackson 1 for 3. Darren Willis 0 for 3 in the game. So that's the only batting was Willett with a double. Salah Isaac with a sack bunt. For the UNO Privateers. Okay, Kyle Closer Donovich, if I'm saying his name right. Common spelling is KHACHADOURIAN. He gave up 4.2 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 of them was earned. He walked 2, struck out 4. Colin Cullivan, 0.2 innings. He gave up 1 hit, 3 runs, 3 of them was earned. Walked 2, struck out none. Jacob Lunkin had given up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, no strikeouts, and Josh Cirijo, that's CERREJO, gave up 0.2 innings. He gave up 1 strikeout, no hits, no runs. But he gave up a hit. UNO pitching, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks. They gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 was earned. 2 wild pitches in the game. There was Cullivan and the other guy, Clutcher Reelan. Clutcher Do Reelan. If it's a hard name to pronounce, but we'll get it. So that was in yesterday's game. So UNO splits the series. Once again, for those watching, 7-6 and 6-4. So UNO once again is winning their game right now. They're now 14-13, 14-13. So we'll give you their conference standings in just a second. So I'm gonna do that. So we'll recap what happened with Southeastern Louisiana University, their game. So we'll recap them. So we'll give you their recap. Okay, Southeastern 17-10, 10-5 in conference play. They did play McNeese. They did lose 5-0 and won the second game 6-3. So we'll recap both games, Southeastern and McNeese's games. So we'll recap both box scores. So I'm going to go ahead and recap the box scores for Southeastern. Southeastern loses 5-0 in game 1 and comes back and wins 6-3 in game 2. So we'll recap both double headers. So let me get my stats on the screen, get my box scores on the screen. Okay, box score is on the screen. Southeastern loses 5-0. Your losing pitcher, Trey Shaffer, 1-2. The game started at 2:04 Central. 2:04 Central. It ended. So it was 2:04 start time for game 1. This is game 1. So recap on what happened. Okay, Southeastern did not score in the bottom of the first. They only had a double. So that was in the bottom of the first. Southeastern in the bottom of the second only had a single, but they did steal second. But the rest was flyouts. So that was in the bottom of the second. Did not score in the bottom of the second. Did not score in the bottom of the third. Southeastern, let's see where they scored. Once again, it was 5-0. McNeese scored the 2 runs in the top of the 6th. So McNeese scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th. So McNeese scored in that game. So they did score in the top of the 6th. And they scored in top of the 5th for McNeese, top of the 5th, 3 runs, and top of the 6th. So top of the 5th and top of the 6th for the McNeese Cowboys. So Southeastern in the first game, Evan Keller went 1 for 3. Johnson went 0 for 2. Burke went 0 for 2. Preston Faulkner went 1 for 3. Kristen Garcia went 1 for 3. Tyler Frank 0 for 3. Rhett Rosevier went 0 for 3. Nick Ray went 0 for 2. Bryce Grizz went 0 for 2. So Bryce Grizzer a fault went. Southeastern left 4 men on base, struck out 9 times, and walked 1. So the only offense for Southeastern was a double and a sack bunt. That was in the game. There was Keller and Johnson. Stolen base by Kristen Garcia. That was in their game. Now, Southeastern pitching. So let's go over to the Southeastern pitching. Gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 was earned. They walked 4, struck out 10. Trey Schaefer struck out 7 and walked only 2. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 of them was earned. Kyle Barley gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them was earned. Walked 1, struck out none. Dylan as a home, struck out 1 and gave up none. Landon Clifton struck out 2 for the Southeastern Lions and didn't walk nobody. So that was in yesterday's game. So Southeastern loses 5-0 in game 1 of the doubleheader. So we'll recap game 2. Southeastern wins 6-3. So recap that game as well. So go over to the that recap. Okay, Southeastern wins 6-3 in game 2. That game started at 5 p.m. 3 hours and 5 minutes. 9:37 at Alumni Field in Hammond. So that was in Hammond. Your winning pitcher was Will Warren. He's 5-1. Your losing pitcher was Cole Haskin. He's has his 4th save of the year. Okay, the last score for Southeastern: 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. McNeese 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. So we're going to recap the play-by-play. So top of the first, McNeese did not score, so they held 1. They had 1 runner on base. That was on a triple. So McNeese, Southeastern gave up a triple. Southeastern did not score in the bottom of the first, so their inning was very flat in that inning. They only had 1 single, but the rest were flyouts and out of second, caught stealing. Southeastern scored 2 in the bottom of the second. That was on a double down the right field line, so it made it 2-0. And then so that was the only scoring in the bottom of the second. Southeastern did score in the bottom of the fourth. Nick Ray did score on that double down to right center field. And then Southeastern did score one run that was in the bottom of the sixth. That was Burke scoring on a single to left center field in the game. And let's see, bottom of the seventh, Southeastern did not score. Southeastern scored two in the bottom of the eighth on a hit by a pitch. That was a hit by a pitch. So the run scored, made it 6-3. So that was 2 runs in the bottom of the eighth. And then the first score was on a wild pitch. So first one was on wild pitch. Second one's on a hit by a pitch. So it was wild pitches. Got Southeastern some runs. So that's how the game ended. Southeastern went 6-3 in their game yesterday. So we'll give you a game box score. Okay, the batting for Southeastern, Burke had a double, Gabby Cruz a double, and Eli Johnson. So both all 3 players had doubles, 3 doubles in the game. Christian Garcia had a stolen base. Evan Keller had got caught stealing, and Fink did hit by a pitch. Southeastern left 9 men on base. Evan Keller went 1 for 3. Fink went 0 for 3. Burke went 1 for 5. Preston Faulkner 0 for 4. Nick Ray 1 for 2. Christian Garcia 1 for 4. Gary Cruz 1 for 3. So he had a double in the game. So he went 1 for 3. Cade Scott went 0 for 1. He was a pinch hitter. And the catcher, Grizza Fowler, that's Bryce Grizz didn't bat. Eli Johnson went 1 for 3. Rhett Rosebeer went 0 for 2. So it's 0 for 2 in the game. Now, they had a pinch runner in the game that was Kevin Bell. So it was a pinch runner in the game for the Southeastern Lions. So let's give you the pitching. Southeastern struck out 14 and walked 3. So pretty good consistent inning for them. They gave up only 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 was earned. Will Warren gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 was earned. He walked 10 and walked 1, struck out 10. Curl Haskin struck out 4 and walked 2. Gave up 1 hit in that game. So final scores: Southeastern wins game 1, game 2, 5 game. They win game 2, 6-3, but lose game 1, 5-0. So that was a split between Southeastern and McNeese, just like UNO won on a split as well. So that was in their games yesterday. So let's go ahead and give you the standings on the Southland Conference. I'm going to go ahead and give you those Southland Conference standings. So we'll go ahead and give you those in a second. So I'm going to give you the standings on them. So let me give you this Southland Conference standings. If we can get them, I'll pull them up, boy. I'll pull up the Southland Conference. I'll pull up the standings. How the So we'll pull up the Southland Conference standings for okay, Southland Conference standings right now as we go. So we'll give you those breakdowns. So I'm gonna put that up on the screen. Okay, this is the RPIs. Okay, right now Southeastern standing at 66 in the league. So 66 in the RPI. Their non-conference wins right now 7-5. So 7-5 in non-conference. Their versus RPI teams right now they're not so. Versus 101 and 200 Southeastern's 14-5. The 200 plus Southeastern is 3-0. So that's versus 200 plus. So right now Southeastern standing at 66 in the RPI. UNO standing at 229 in the Southland Conference standings. So UNO 229 and Southeastern at 66. So that is the nitty gritty reports. So that's nitty gritty reports. So I'm going to see if I can get Southland Conference standings. So we're going to go ahead and give you the Southland Conference baseball standings as we go into see if I can give you the Southland Conference standings. Okay, Southland Conference standings as we go. Okay, these are the Southland Conference standings. I'll give you those in a second. Okay, Southland Conference standings as followed. Nichols right now 8-4, 10 conference 13-12. So right now Nichols is at first, followed by Southeastern at second. McNeese in third right now. So McNeese is in third. UIW also in fourth. Now UNO's in the fifth position at 9-6. So UNO at 9-6 in the standings and 14-13. So so UNO right now is in fifth place. So also Northwestern State is at 6-5, followed by Abilene Christian, Sam Houston. So these two teams right now they're tied. So they're tied for the best record at 8-7. So tied at 8-7. So it is going to be a very consistent log jam when it comes down to the Southland Conference. Going into the all the way into this month, going into next month. So I'll be honest with you, it's going to be a log jam. It's going to be between those two best teams. You got Nichols right now. I'm going to tell you, Nichols is playing their best baseball. They have their best record in the conference right now. They're at 13-12. Southeastern, same thing, 13-12. So it's going to probably be a dogfight going into the last couple of weekends of the conference schedules. So when it comes down to it. So that is, once again, conference standings. So let's go over a couple of news headlines before we wrap this up. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are live, so we did do college baseball recap. So let's go over some news before we wrap this up. Okay, USA Basketball selects Grant Hill to replace Jerry Colangelo as the managing director of USA Basketball. So it looks like Grant Hill will take over the reins of managing director of the USA Basketball team. So he will be the new leader after replace Jerry Colangelo. So that's what's happening in the news. Okay, let's see what else we have. We'll go over this one. Okay, Houston police investigating reports concerning Deshaun Watson. So that's once again, this saga will continue. So it'll be going on as we speak. So he has 21 lawsuits. That's civil. That's alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior filed by Tony Busby. So it looks like he is going to be very busy with this case involving Deshaun Watson. So that's once again water under the bridge. So wrap it up. Just a second. Okay. Marc Gasol frustrated with role since Anthony Drummond's arrival. So it looks like it's not good news for Marc Gasol out in Laker Town. He's admitted he has been questioning his place on the team since Andre Drummond came over from Cleveland. He was named a starter almost immediately after he arrived. And Gasol regret to the bench. Monzell Harrell, also one of the leading 6 men of the year contenders as a backup center. So Gasol, look, I'll be honest with you. Look, if my Andre Drummond is named the starter, he should understand. Look, he should do what's best for the team. When it comes down to it, I mean, look, don't cry and complain about not getting minutes and stuff like that, because look, that's just a sign that's you don't want to play with Andre Drummond and stuff like that. So look, if he gets in the lineups one night, and if he's out of the lineups another night, that's just what they're going to do. They're doing this for the best of the team. They're not doing this just to piss off Marc Gasol because he's mad because they take him out of the role of the being the starter for the Los Angeles Lakers. So once again, this is from ESPN. Go to ESPN.com. Okay, Tom Brady's rookie code sells for $2.25 million. So it looks like his card is going to be worth a lot of money for his new rookie card. So I look at it this way: his rookie card will be absolutely even more if you go take it to a baseball card shop and they appraise it, and it's probably going to be worth more money than $2.25 million. So that's kind of the conundrums when it comes down to it. So this from ESPN.com. Go to ESPN.com. So we'll wrap this up in just a few moments. Okay. Okay, Tara Vanderveer questions if the Cardinals continue after 9 weeks on the road. So it looks like so that's what she's questioning about. I think she's questions. She plays in the Arizona. That's going to be in the Final Four. So she questions. So that's what their question. So I think she most likely will. So that's so we'll see what else we can talk about. Okay, Loyola Chicago head coach Porter Moser will become the new Oklahoma head coach. That so he's going over to from Loyola Chicago. The team that went to the NCAA this year and kind of made a run in the NCAA. So he is now moving on to the to become the coach at Oklahoma. So look, I think Loyola Chicago is going to get a coach that's going to bring him back to the NCAA tournament sooner rather than later. So. Okay, once again, the MLB All-Star Game will be moving over to will be moving out of Atlanta due to Georgia's new strict voting law. Remember a couple of years ago when North Carolina had a bathroom bill that was absolutely just everybody was outraged about it, and they moved one of the events like the WWE WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 34. Was going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, but the that bathroom bill kind of absolutely moved it out of that city. It moved it from Charlotte, North Carolina to here in New Orleans. That was back in 2018. So that was, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I think what Major League Baseball is doing is a huge service to their fans and to their to the people that support them and stuff like that. Sure, you're gonna have a lot of throwback from politicians on the other side of the aisle, which is the Republicans. Like they're going to be there's be some boycotts, but the truth of the matter is, like I said, you're going to have more people that's Democrats, independents, and stuff like that watching baseball because look, what Georgia did in their state was absolutely, and 42 other states most likely will be coming to 42 other states. Look, it's absolutely wrong, and it needs to, like I said, these politicians needs to understand. Look, when you put laws like that in place, guess what? That's going to be a ripple effect. Look, these communities and games and stuff like that. Look, they thrive on diversity. That's what they do. They thrive on diversity. I mean, look, they don't want something like this to happen. Look, to people. So I think it was a good move by MLB to move the MLB All-Star Game out of Atlanta to another city. So I think it's a double-edged sword when it comes down to it. So once again, this is from ESPN. Go to ESPN.com. Okay. Well, we have we'll wrap it up. Okay, once again, your final score, West Brom wins 5-2 over Chelsea. That game was final, so final score in that game, 5-2. So they're talking about it on the video. So that is so we'll wrap this up. Okay, let's wrap this up. Okay, once again, welcome. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show. We'll be back later on this evening for NCAA basketball coverage. Gonzaga taking on UCLA. That's in the Final Four. That'll be later on this evening. We'll have game coverage here for you here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So that will be after. That'll be later on this evening. And tomorrow we'll have Houston and the Pelicans. That will be around 7 o'clock. So once again, please join us. We appreciate you coming in. Once again, like, share, and follow Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show. We'll give you those locations where you need to follow. Okay, follow us on once again, follow us on Facebook. Also follow us on the Sports Talk page on there as well. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Tumblr. Follow us on Twitch. We will be on Twitch. We're not on Twitch every day, but we will be on Twitch. Just follow us there. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on the Skypes. If you want to come in and Skype us, we'll let you come in and Skype. We'll give you the link. Also follow us on the LinkedIn page. That's LinkedIn page. Also follow us on Blogspot. We do blogs on there. Not all the time, but when we put them in, we'll have them, and you'll be able to read them. So follow us on there as well. Once again, we will be back later on for NCAA basketball coverage here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.